Yo guys, let's do this. Today I'm going to show you how to use Mixamo. In the last video, I mentioned that I was using for some prototypes in my game, and as much as it's a really good tool, and I really like to use it for my prototypes because, like I mentioned before, I can get the animations pretty quickly, integrate into my game, and test their functionalities. If it's working, I can just go to my animation software and I make the animation pretty. But to test integration, to testing features, it's amazing, right? So it comes with like two issues that I found. Mixamo's characters, they don't have root bone. That means when you have to use locomotion, combat, anything like that can, needs to be blended, it goes all over the place. It creates a mess. You want to fix that, and that's what I'm going to show you today, right? The second thing, I find the animations are very slow. If you're speaking of like a gameplay, there's the reaction for like the click of a button, it takes a little too long to happen. It feels like it's too mocappy, and like I feel like it doesn't have like as much as responsiveness as I would like. So anytime I get a Mixamo animation, I need to go to the sequencer and then do the fixes there, right? So keep that in mind. It's good but not perfect. So the first thing, like I mentioned in the last project, I like to use a dump file, and in this one is where I test everything, so like I can just send to my project, right? So let's say I want to get a new animation from Mixamo, test in this dump file in this dump project, and if it's working, I retarget into the character, and then I can send to my project, right? Like as long as like the characters they match, the animations they will be perfect. So once you're in your real project, you need to open the current one that that keeps like launching every time. You go to File, Open Project, and you will see your project right here, right? It's like the current project. The only thing you need to do, uncheck this box, always load last project on startup, and close it. That's it. The next thing you're going to do, you go to Epic Launcher, and then from there, you can see the image right here. You will click Launch, right? So let's do this right now. Of course, you're going to show like the version of Unreal you currently using. Uh, you just click in the yellow button, Launch, and it will open an option to create a new project as you see on my screen, right? So like what I'm going to do right now is create a new project, right? And for the sake of this example, I'm going to use the third person one. So right here, I click third person, and then project name, I'm gonna say dump version 2. And then here, just gonna say same thing, V2. There we go. Now we have our new project. So the first thing I like to do when I create a new project, I like to invert the mouse pen. And if that's the same for you, I prefer working the same way as a working Maya. So it doesn't make like, my brain explode. Um, if you that's the case for you, you can just follow me. So you're going to go to Edit, Editor Preference, and then just type mouse pen. And then there is this option right here under controls, invert middle mouse band. So if you just click here, that's all you need to do. Now it feels much better, at least for me. Cool. So right here, right now, we're good, right? I'm going to show you the Mixamo. Right here, this website. It's an Adobe website. You can download a bunch of characters. They have like a bunch of FBX characters. Um, and because you can see, I'm scrolling here, it's like a bunch of characters, a bunch of options for you. And also some animations, which is very cool. So if you're testing a feature like this one, you can see like in the preview, it's a jump. So you can just test a bunch of things, which is, pretty useful. So let's go for the character right here. And it's showing me like a this one, the Y bot one. I'm just not gonna waste much time. It's just gonna download this one. I'm gonna select any other character. Format, you want to keep it FBX, and then pose, T-pose. Just clicking download. There we go. So now I downloaded the character, and then let's just, for the sake of this example, grab this jump animation. Right here in these animations, there are a few options. You can select the frames per second, 24, 30, or 60. I'm just going to leave it 60. And you don't need to change anything in the FBX form in the format. You just leave it as FBX. And skin, we just downloaded the character, right? And we only need the skeleton. We don't want more stuff that is necessary because it just increased the file size and space in your computer. So just get like without skin and keyframe reduction if you want, but I'm just gonna leave like this and download as well. All right, cool. So now we have the character and we have the animation. And move this away. And then right here in our new project file, we have content characters. Under characters, I'm going to right click and then create a folder for our Mixamo character. And under content, right click, I'm going to create an animation folder, right? Just want to have an animation here for the sake of this example. Cool. So there's one thing it's important to know. The Mixamo, once we fix the root, the Mixamo root, the Mixamo animation root, it stops following the character, right? So you're gonna have to actually go to that sequencer and then make that following the character yourself. There are a few ways to do this with like snapping tool. I can show you like some other videos, which is pretty efficient. But I'm going to show you what the animation looks like. But we're gonna use an animation from Unreal, and you're going to see that it looks exactly the same. The roots is all over the place. But and then I'm going to show you like how to fix that. Okay. All right. So under characters in Mixamo, you're going to grab the one you downloaded. You can just drag and drop. Don't need to do anything right here. Just import, and it's going to load the character. All right. So once the character is here, let me just save. Cool. Don't need to do anything at the moment. Go to animation, and then we're going to grab the jump animation. Drag and drop. Under skeleton, you're going to select now the Mixamo character, the Y bot I just downloaded, and import. Cool. All right, so like if I now preview this, double click, see here, you see that it's behaving as it was on Mixamo website. Visually works. Technically, it's a mess. So you want to fix this mess. So if I go right here under asset details and I type root and then I enable root motion, look at this crazy thing happening here. And if you remember from my first video, you want a straight line. You don't want the root following your character in height. You don't want the root motion going like having weird rotations, right? It's like you want like a simple straight line following your character, right? That's going to lead a much better animation once you start integrating. Cool. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Not even gonna save it. Cool. We have our jump animation right here. Let's go back to our character. Cool. Leave this here right now. The next thing you're going to do, because now we want to fix the animations. You know what? Before that, let me grab an animation from Unreal. Could be this one, guys. Well, it doesn't really matter. So like I'm grabbing this animation and I'm going to move, I'm going to copy it to my animation folder, right? I want to retarget this into our Mixamo so you can see what happens. So if I click this animation right here, this is the Unreal mannequin. Look at the root motion. It's a straight line, works perfectly. It's fine, right? It's following the character's orientation. As you can see, there's even the reference right here. It's following the orientation. There is a little rotation, but it's following a straight line. The next step is opening your skeletal mesh. And then you're going to see hip, all the skeleton tree, but you don't see any roots. We're going to create the root right now. Let me just like close everything, and then we can see this like clear. And we go to the skeleton right here, top left, and click edit skeleton. Click that, click add, and anywhere on your screen. So if you click anywhere on your screen, not a problem. It creates this offset, which is incorrect. The root bone should be under the character, right? So what are you gonna do? Right here on the location, you can just click reset this property. Just do that. Once you reset, it just goes back to 0 and it stays right under the character. Name that root. And now you can see right here, we created this new joint that it's sharing the space on the skeleton tree with the hip. You're going to drag the hip to the root, and now the root is the parent, and the next thing is just apply to the asset. So that is a pop-up. It's going to ask you if you want to merge or create a new one. I would say just merge because you don't want like so many extra stuff in your file. Even if it's a dump one, you can keep it clean, right? So you're just going to merge because you're going to use this like a lot of times. So it's just like you make sure you have like the same character that you're going to retarget the animations from Mixamo and everything. So you just merge, it's just going to overwrite the character, and that's perfect. And then you just commit. So going back to our animation now, we have the jump, and then we have the pistol animation from Unreal, right? If I open the jump, and then I think the roots is already enabled. Cool. You can see the roots right here enabled, but it stay stuck in place. There's no animations not following the character. We want that to be following the character. Cool. So once this is done, um, you want to retarget this into the Unreal skeleton, into the Unreal mannequin, so you can do the changes and then retarget back into the Mixamo animation. There are a few extra steps, but it is what it is. If I get this animation though, this animation from Unreal, which comes with the root motion, which is important. The problem that with like these extra steps because Mixamo doesn't have the root animation in that, so we had to create, and we have to actually make the animation under the character. So with this one though, it's working, it's fine. So if I just go right here, and then I click right click, and then oops, right click and retarget, and then I select the Y bot, and then say, yeah, I want this animation. You see the difference. It's working. We don't see the root yet, but next time, next step, next step. Exporting, cool. Double click. There we go. Look at the difference. You see there is a root animation, right? So like that's working. The problem is again one of the problems that comes with Mixamo. You can use the animations, but you have to figure out what to do with the root motion. And then if you use an animation that comes with the root motion, you won't have this problem. And you can just retarget, integrate into your game, and that's going to be fine. The next step is if you're using an animation from Mixamo and you want to edit this in the sequencer, what are you going to do? Well, if you go to jump and then you type retarget, and then you select Queen, which is the rig I'm using right now, jump, you can see the jump right here, and then I'm going to export animations under their animation folder, export, cool. So if I open now this one on the Unreal rig, you see there's no root following the character, even if the root is enabled. As you can see, it's not following the character. So it's not ideal. We want to go to a level sequence and then edit the animation. If you're using the third person level, the character will be created at 0, which is right under this box. If you want to edit the animation, I would strongly suggest you to create a plain empty level where you can just test your animations there. I wouldn't recommend you doing here. Otherwise, the character is going to be like right under this box. It's going to be a mess to try to figure out things, move things around. So I would say create a new level and animate your character from there. So let's do this like real quick. So like under content, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to say call level. Going to create a new level, call animation. Save it, double click, save everything. Um, if you don't remember, I'm going to do this real quick. That's what I did in the first video, but that's what I need to do. Go to, landscape, click in create, window, environment likes mixer, click every single light. Done. We have a level right here. So we save it. That's it. Now we're going to go back to our animation. Now we want to use the jump animation from the Unreal Mannequin because we can use the control rig to edit the animation. And then you go right here, editing sequencer, edit with FK control rig, big, and we have the rig right here. Let me hide this and bring the control rig. So we go again, track, control rig, layered, control rig, layered, and then filter asset by skeleton again, check the first one, uncheck the second one. And then this first option you see, CR mannequin body, that's our guy. Now we can edit the animation. So let's again move all the lights down so it doesn't get in our way. Oh, there you go. And this is our root. As you can see, it's like this arrow here. And if right here on in an anime outliner, you can see root underscore control, right? So look at this guy. You're going to see right here the name. Hit S, which is the key. And then as the character jumps, you want this to follow the character. And just move this like this. I'm doing this really roughly, right? But technically you want this to be following the character's center of mass, so don't be a little careful with what you're doing. Like right now, I'm just going to do like this very simple, right? Like it's very simple. You can do it like a snap, and I can show like some other videos, which is a really cool way to just keep feet planted, uh, have like the root following like the specific bones. It's pretty cool. But as for the sake of this example, we're just going to do this, right? So we have the root following the character. Let me save, going back to our animations, and then let me see if it's working. Now we have the root following the character. What are we going to do now? Well, retarget back to the Mixamo cat. I know it's like a lot of steps, but that's when you don't have that's what happens when you don't have roots. And in this case is the jump one. Let me export animations. Unreal is going to rename, so it's fine. There it goes. Its name is like jump 2. If I open now we have the root following the character, right? Um, it's a solution to fix, the lack of root motion animation in the Mixamo. But it's functional. It's gonna work in your game. I tested mine. It's fine, working good as long as you follow your character center of mass. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, share your results with me. It would be amazing. So thank you. Bye.